5%, but I think you guys have got to a point where you've really just gone, oh, we've been busy. So each week it gets a little bit more busier, and you are dropping off a little bit more each week.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's having that chat, you know, what's going on? How can we help you? How can you guys help yourselves to stay on the course? Because I don't want to get to the end of the 12 weeks and know that you guys could have done a lot better. And I'm sure you guys don't want to get to the end of the week going, oh, we put this money into it, we didn't fully commit. I wish I had it, because once we get there, it's too late, the time's been moved. So
I guess, like, I think at the beginning, super keen. Still super keen now, but our actions aren't kind of following through with what we said we were going to do. The last week and a half, I've been in and out with the doctors because I've got cellulitis on my legs, and so the doctors are like, no training and nothing, but that's because of not training and eating properly to begin with. So I've just been taking meds and stuff for the past week, but just trying to keep on top of work and the cake business too, and I feel like I'm drowning because I'm feeling sick at the same time, not resting, and then just putting training on the back burner.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. The gout's crept back in the last couple of weeks. It's just sound like a broken record for 2020, but I'm just like, once we're in a hole, I can't see our way out, because like, for me it's like we're just comfortable. It's like we use everything else but our health first. It's just the same pattern that's been happening this whole year. Once we're comfortable, we stay there, but we know what to do. We know how much we want it, but it's just habit. It's just really you've seen it. I think I did the 6 week as well before this one. It's the same pattern. I was all in first week, second week all in, third week kicked in. I started dropping off, and now it's the same this round. The 4th, 5th week I've started falling off, and this week just fell off completely. So we're looking at each other. We know what to do, but it's like we put everything else first but ourselves again. It's the same trap we fall into, putting our family, our business, but not our health. I don't know. I'm lost for words, to be honest. At this stage where we are with the challenge, completely different to where we were week 1. It's like we've gone back to before week 1. You know what I mean? We know the results of if we don't do anything now. Still eat bad, and she has brought up a few times what you've always brought up in the past. I think we do need to see a counsellor in terms of getting our minds on track with our health. I think that's where the problem is, our actual mindset. Me being a stubborn island guy, I always say, nah, we'll be alright. Just lost at the moment.
Same thing every day.
So I guess, when you bring up, it's a good point, because when you've got so much that you've gone through, you've created all these habits, and there's a past history of, you didn't get to this point just out of sheer bad luck. There's a reason why you turn to food, book up it, or you decide not to exercise. And there's a real root cause to that, and each of you will have a different reason for that, and it could be from the last 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 20 years, it could be from your early childhood. And I guess it's something that we know that unless those things are addressed, it's really, really hard to keep yourself on track, because it's not us sitting here judging you guys going, okay, you should be doing this, and you know you should, but you're not, because there's a root cause of why you're not. But it's figuring out what that is and how you guys deal with it, and how you can get some help to deal with those, because once you deal with those causes and reasons for why you've ended up spiraling this way, you're going to keep repeating the same patterns over and over again, because it's like you said, the 6 week, the 12 week, it doesn't matter if you do an 8 week or a 4 week, the same patterns are going to keep coming up, because you start off really keen because you know you want to do it, but you get to a point where it just seems hopeless and it's all too hard and it's all too much, so you spiral backwards again. And for I guess for me it's figuring out, that stuff doesn't have to be stuff that you share with Paul and I, but I think it's stuff that you guys will know if you've got baggage from your childhood or from your teenage years, what that baggage might be, or you might be still trying to figure it out. Was there something that affected me? Because some people don't actually until they sit there and actually think, why am I doing what I'm doing? Because basically it's self-destructing, because you're finding reasons to not get yourself healthier, and there's a reason why you do that, and it's not till sometimes you actually sit down and go through events that have happened during life and go, actually maybe I can pinpoint it to there, because since from there this happened to me, or someone said this one thing, or someone done something to me, and from there I've just used food as a comfort, or whatever that may be, and it's addressing, I guess, where that came from and why that's still holding you back. I don't know. Is there anything you wanted to add on to that?
What do you guys think? One thing is being stubborn and, as a male, and not be able to talk about these things. But that's one of the things that I've been going through some groups. I think in the last 4 weeks I have been going through some males groups to be able to talk about these things. And it comes in many different ways, Like, from your childhood, it could be being a pendant from your mum and dad. It could be verbal abuse, it could be mental abuse, it could be physical abuse. And these are the things that, these are the old habits, these are the mindset that I was talking about right from the beginning, the cycle that you guys going through, And I don't know if you guys watched the interview yesterday with Weiner, and he was 130, 180, something like that. 32 years old, and he ended up in the home care. 32 years old, because he had problems with his weight. And what he realized that he didn't, you guys, and this is the things that I'm trying to make you guys understand, that all he can see, that as much as people say, you need to change your diet, you need to change your lifestyle, but he couldn't see it himself. He could not see that he's doing what he's doing is the problem. He said, what's wrong? I'm happy. I've got my family, and what's the problem? Until he actually went into the hospital, and all he see is the four wall. So what he done is to figure out, himself. What am I actually want? And he realized that he reflected on himself, that what he's doing is actually hurting his family. Because if anything happened to him, he's only 38 now. He realized that I wouldn't even see 40 the way he's going. So he ended up, and as much as he was struggled to see who I need to help, so he ended up going to see a psychologist. I wouldn't come this far without seeing a psychologist. I wouldn't. And as much as I always said, I wasn't big, because I didn't use food for my comfort. I used the rugby, I used the game as my comfort. That's my happy place. That was my happy place. It makes me feel better when I play the game. It makes me feel better even just watching the game. That was the habits that I created. I was lucky enough. And I can see, it's the same things that people use as a food and alcohol. Because as soon as I gave up rugby, I was starting to take on the alcohol as my go-to place. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But what happened is I had underlying issues that I had that I needed to sort out. I needed to talk about it. I need to find somebody to be able to give me the tools to do it. And these are the habits, you know, these are the old habits that you have. Look, 6 weeks that you stuck with the new habits that you have done. 6 weeks. Or maybe 4 weeks, the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
4 weeks. So those are your new habits. You've done really well with the training. You turn up over here and you know that's good. You know, man, it feels, you know, really feels good. Makes me happy. Seeing my sons over here, seeing you guys going together, makes you happy. But what happened is after that 4 weeks, it is so easy just to slip back into the old habits. Because you still haven't changed that mindset. You still, you know, you guys still holding on. I don't know, and as Nicole said, you don't have to share with us if you're not comfortable. You don't have to share why you both there in a session. You can actually go in by yourself and find somebody that you can connect to talk about these issues. Do you get what I mean? And these mental issues that we need to overcome. No matter what program that you do, brother, that I promise to you, no matter what professional health that, you know,
No matter what gym you go
gym that you go to,
Yeah.
you'll get a good result. I mean, you guys done with Chile.
Yeah.
You had some amazing results. So you imagine if you sit back now, why did I end up back where I was before? I've lost 30 kgs in that time. Do you know what I mean? But I end up back where I was before. Why? So you know, now is the time for you really have to dig deep into that question. Why? Why did I went back? And here I am. I'm still looking for that change. Where's the program? The 12 weeks. You know? Do you get what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I know what it is though. Like it's because I love food.
But you haven't gone to the root of it. You know what it is, but you haven't gone to the root of the problem. Because everybody does. Everybody does. Everybody's, you say, I love what it is. You know, I know what it is, but I haven't. But one thing is finding out what is the cause of the problem. But, and then how am I going to change it?
I think when you say, I love food, we all love food, but it's deeper than that. Why did you develop that love for food that you think that you can't go without all these things to a point where you've got yourself to in a point where you're like, if I can do something, my house getting out of control. There's a reason why you have a love for food, because at some point you've used that to be your comfort or your shield or your happy place because of something that's gone on. And sometimes you may not know, it may not come to you, it may be going to talk to someone and going, okay, I have issues with food, and those people know how to ask those right questions to figure out, okay, at what point did you start using food as your happy place and as your comfort to get to a point where it's like, oh, I love food, I can't only eat this. And you may not know it, you may sit here thinking, I don't know, it may take a couple of sessions, 2 or 3 sessions with a counsellor or a psychologist to figure it out. Because some people, they don't know that they've actually, I guess with a lot of people that have either had a trauma or something that's happened in their life that made them really unhappy. Paul did it for nearly 30 or 25 years, because by the time he brought it out, he blocked it. So partially, part of his brain didn't even remember that had happened to him. He knew that there was something that had made him happy and he was doing these things to make himself happy, but it wasn't until there was that one trigger that made him go, holy shit, that's why I wasn't happy, because that's what happened to me. And you know, blocked that out, but in your subconscious, it's there, but it's affecting you, but it's not coming to you that, oh, actually it's that. That's what's made me feel this way. And it could be like, even as, you know, some people think, oh, it's just a small thing, it don't matter. It could be like our girls at school at the moment. Hope will come home and go, oh, that girl told me I'm fat. And that, at a 6-year-old's head, that can stick with you for the rest of your life. Oh, I'm useless, I'm ugly, or whatever. And it may be that one thing that we think, oh, that's just little, it doesn't. But if you're constantly told that, or you're heard that, and you play it over in your head, it can affect you for the rest of your life.
Shucks.
Do you guys talk about it?
No, not really. I mean,
On.
yeah.
I know her one. We'll have to talk with her one. Her triggers. Do you want to share with me?
So the same thing that happened to you happened to me. I'm the eldest of 5. My mum stopped working when I was like 14, so I was working part-time to help feed my siblings. So for me it was like, we never had food in the house. So that's one thing that I know that's kind of caused this. It's just making sure that we have food all the time. Only when all of that stuff happened to me, I blocked it out as well. And my mum and dad didn't know about it, and they found out about it about a couple of years ago. And so for me, I was like, just kind of, you know, going on with it. But then when my mum found out about it, 'cause she's actually pretty dramatic. So she made a big fuss about it and kind of just started digging it all up again and started calling Samoa and made some of my uncles try to go and kill one of them. But I didn't need her to do that, you know. I don't know if it was just her feeling guilty for not protecting me or whatever, but I don't put myself first in that respect. I always look after my siblings and my son. Just making sure that no one touches him like how there's people who touch. But I did talk to a counsellor about it before, but we didn't have like heaps of sessions. We didn't kind of get to this level where we figured out what the problem was. But ever since then, it's made me angry, and I do take it out on him, even though I try not to. But yeah, that's a short story. A little.
First, I wanted to acknowledge you for sharing. It's not an easy thing to do. You know, I live through my life. Never thought, you know, what affected me. But it got to the point, you know, where it was really affecting our relationship, you know. We had been as adults, you know. Even having our relationship, I had to hide from Nicole. But it got to the point, you know, I couldn't go anywhere. I either had to make the decision of cut them out, move on, you know. But I didn't want to do that to my kids. I didn't want to do that to my relationship. I loved them, but it's so painful and so hard, you know, at the time. And even had that plan that I was going to confront the guy that had done it to me. You know, I was going back to Samoa to kill him. But you know, I go back into God, you know, for his blessing and be able to look after and give me the thoughts and stuff that gave me the chance to be able to share with Nicole. And then I went through counselling. I think that's what I said to you, is if I didn't go through the counselling and stuff, you know, I wouldn't come this far. I was also willing to give up for this business, you know. And that was only our first couple of months of doing this. You know, I didn't feel better about myself. It was hard, you know. So I was willing to give up. But then when I done the counselling and stuff, you know, it actually helped me to, you know, yes, that happened to me at the 9 years old. But this is not, you know, I'm 35, you know. And the harder thing is, you know, you get to the point that you're as an adult, and then when the little ball came up, it's just mess everything up. And then you know, and then I start believing that's who I am, you know, and that's the thing. So for me to be able to forgive myself, like, yes, it did happen to me, except this has happened to me. But then, how am I going to forgive myself that this is not who I am? The 9 years old, yes, that's it, that's happened. But I also need to move forward. I am now 4 years old. I've got my family, 2 years that I have to enjoy. But otherwise, I'm always gonna live in that 9 years old for the rest of my life. So I have to make a decision there. Would I live in that 9 years old, or would I be able to move forward? And it's never gonna go away because it's always come back. But it's a different in a different ways that you'll be able to deal with it. But you have to have these tools. You have to have that awareness. Oh, this has come up again. You know, I mean, what's funny, like I had a lady that came out here to have a talk with. This is probably sometimes this next month. This the interview will come out from Tangata Pacifica. That we, you know, me and the other 2 people talk about the 6 babies in our families, and we wanted to talk about it because it's something that so many people that affect from it, but we're too afraid to talk about it. We're too afraid. We're too embarrassed, you know, really. And it's, you know, from our culture and everything, that it's not, just forget about it. But it's affecting us mentally, and then physically, our health, you know. So I mean, I will really recommend for you, like, you know, to look into the, you know, counseling session, you know, psychologists. Find somebody that you can connect to. Not everybody's connect to everyone, you know, but I think the main thing that is having that tool, the awareness, this is coming up, you know, what can I do differently? As I said, Nicole has, you know.
I think it's important that even if you've been through counselling too, like Paul's been through, he had a really good psychologist. I think he was lucky that she's Samoan maybe. So he was quite grateful that she was born and raised in Samoa, so she could understand. She knew what happened and how things, so she understood. So it was really lucky for him. But I guess he didn't just use her. He had a psychologist and he sought out other organisations. Some worked for him, some he went to a session and said, oh, I'm never going to do it. I have no idea, because you can't connect with everyone, and it's important that I think if you go and you don't feel that you're connecting, you know, it's like, don't give up. There's more help out there. It's finding that person that you can connect with, that can give you the strategies and the tools that can work. Because I guess it's hard, and that's why sitting here watching, we can tell there's more to it than just going up and down roller coaster dieting. There's something deeper, and we know it's something we see in other clients, and that there's a reason behind it. And until you are able to, I guess, like Paul did, be able to come to terms, this happened to me, but I'm not going to let it define me, and I'm going to find tools to be able to cope with it and use it in a good way. So, you know, help others that may have gone through that or may be going through that and don't know how to have their voice and how to feel about it, because I think it's a thing that's been silenced because people are embarrassed. I mean, we've been together 14 years now. It took him 10 years to tell me. And I knew something wasn't right. And it got to the point where I said to him, I don't know what's wrong with you, but there's something that's not right. Something that either you're not happy with me and you want to move on. If that's it, go, because you're not happy. You're never happy. There's always, it would be like we'd achieve something, but he'd find a way to ruin that or pull that down. It was like he was constantly punishing himself.
Yeah.
And I said to him, and I don't know what it is, because if it's me, then say so and go. And if it's not me, figure out what it is and get some help for it, because I can't help you. I don't know. And even after that talk, I think it took him a good 6 months to, and not because, I guess just fear and embarrassment of what's my wife going to think of me, that another guy's done this to me. For him, it was a huge thing that I'd be like, I don't want anything to do with you, which I guess a lot of people hold it to themselves and don't talk about it and get the emotional help and support that they need, because, and I guess even, he's aware and he's there for you. But like I always say, I feel like he can talk to me and I support him and I'll listen, but I haven't been through his journey, so I don't feel his pain and I can't understand the pain. And it's not because I don't want to, it's because I haven't been there. And he's got a good support group of people now that have been through the same thing, so he can talk to them because they can understand they've been through that same hurt and that same pain. And for me that's good, because he needs that. Like I can listen, but I can't feel what he's feeling because I haven't been there. So sometimes it's important to find a group like that where you know that they've all been through the same thing. You can share and talk. And it's quite, I guess it's quite good. I went with him for when they were doing the interview, and they were able to share, and it was quite emotional, but they were able to sit there and have a laugh about things as well, going, oh man, these stories, completely different people, growing up worlds apart, ended up together now, and their stories are so much alike. It's like they're telling each other's stories. So it's I think it's been really good for them to go and find that support outside our marriage and outside counselling, to know that there are others that have been through the same thing and they're doing okay.
So it's just getting that support, and also it's just that awareness. I think the first thing is accept it. That yes, this has happened to me. This has happened to me when I was young. Forgive myself, and this is not who I am. And it's now it's the chance for me to be able. So I turn that negative into the positive. So who can I help? Yeah. I feel your pain. I feel what you've been through. But it's so much peaceful when you accept it and forgive yourself of what had happened. And then it's up to you if you wanted to forgive the person that done it to you, or leave it to the man up there that created us. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the main thing is forgive yourself. That's not who you are. Yes, you have the 9 years old that's there. It happened to me. That's 9 years old. And yet that I've got 35 years old here. That how can you compare? And how can I come back into that 9 years? And it's so easy to bring that when this come up. It's so easy to turn into a 9 years old mindset.
I think you put a lot of blame on yourself. Like, I shouldn't have let that happen to me. I should have spoke up and told someone and things like that. But at the time, you don't see it any other way. So
now it's I wanted to move forward. I wanted to move. I can see the funny thing. You guys can see your future. You can see the talent that you guys have. Man, it's incredible. You guys are amazing with your thing. But at the back of your head, it's still thinking, no. We should be enjoying what we already, what we're doing. But you still have, I still have that 9 years old at the back of me saying, not good enough. No, that's not good enough. That's not who you are. You're not meant to be happy. You've done this. This is what happened to you. It's not worth it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what's the voice that's always stuck. So, you know, and I had to work, you know, listening, writing, books, events, you know, and now I find a support group that I call, you know, are males that have been abused that I go to. We talk about it, it becomes normal to us that, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, some of these people, they went through like 4 marriage, divorce,
Yeah.
and that's all from that, you know. I mean, you're probably amazed how many that actually have affected but not talking about it. But it will be nice that after once this come out, we probably gonna connect it a lot more with the people
Yeah.
because it's affected, you know. And I think like it's one of the things that it's affected our health, like, you know, really, really bad, you know. And we don't really think about it, we don't really talk about it. And that's what I mean, like, you know, you have, you know, you think that you've got it all up here, but for a little while then you still have to go back into the old, you know, because you haven't really go into the deeper one, you know.
Yeah, because I remember, Christmas last year, so I found out all this stuff about what my mum had done by calling Samoa the day before Christmas Eve. And so we were having Christmas with my family on Christmas Day. I was just so angry that whole day. Like, I couldn't even enjoy Christmas with my family because I was just ready to kill my mum. I was ready to strangle her on Christmas Day. But just looking back on it now, it's made me such an angry person that I do take it out on him. And I feel sorry for him because I'm like going, oh, you know, you're such a cool dude, but maybe you do need to go find someone else who's not broke. Because I do treat like crap. I really do treat like crap. It's not because of, it's just because I hate myself.
You know, I done that to Nicole. As much as I love her, and I always remember when I went out and do shishin out at Parakitas, I was so happy, you know, helping people out. But when I got home, it's like turning into a completely different person. You know, Nicole was trying to talk to me. I just blocked it out. I said, why don't you talk? What do you want me to do? You know, like it's, but you know that you love her. I mean, I know I love her. But it's affecting the person that you love the most. That's the saddest thing is. You know? So important, you know? And that's what I said to you, and it's affecting you personally, affecting your relationship, it's affecting your business, it's affecting your future. But I'm so glad that, you know, you and that's what I said to you, I acknowledge you for sharing with us. You know, we're not psychologists, but I can tell you I went through it, the same thing, you know. And the job of the psychologist is giving you the tools to be able to work through it. That's their job.
Yeah.
But you and I have to do that job, whether we want to get better, whether it's not. The only reason why I wanted to get better, one reason, only one. It's my family. Only one. You know, if I didn't have my gills, I will probably not sitting here right now or have this. One reason. I didn't want to live my gills without a dad.
Yeah.
I've been through that. It's not a nice thing. That was the only reason why. You know, you can think about it. Would you let your son happen to him? No. Would you let your nieces, your nephews happen to them? No. Same as me. And I was that, you know, and I was that ball that, you know, I guess I was angry, and also I was like so determined. This is gonna stop. This has to stop. That I start talking about publicly.
Mm.
I didn't care about myself. I didn't care about people gonna criticize me. It's because I want it so bad that my girls is gonna be protected.
Mm.
Because if I don't, somebody else is gonna go.
Mm.
And it's gonna happen over and over and over again. So in that mindset, I rather people criticize me protecting my girls, my nieces, my nephew.
Mm.
That was the only reason why I done it.
Mm.
Only reason why I wanted to get better. You know, finding helps online, finding counseling, finding psychologists, finding people to talk to, finding books that I can help to change my mindset. You know, don't need to do anything. I stay up, listen to it. Wherever I go, I listen to it.
Mm.
You know, but you've got to have to find, what is that for you? Podcast.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't want to come here and just be like a big mix, but
You have to apologise.
It's part of the journey. That's why, that's why we created this group. We created this better lifestyle.
Mm.
Because
just a gym where we take your money and tell you to go exercise. When we know something's not
Yeah.
wrong, we want it not right. We want to address it. And
because
you
no matter
guys
what
to
you
be
do
able
on
to
the
get the help that
exercise,
you need to
Yeah.
be able to.
it's still not going to help you.
Could come and work out 3
Yeah.
times a day, but if there's baggage that you're holding on to, it's a waste of time. And I guess for Paul and I'm going to share with you because it hit us hard last year. It hit us really, really hard last year. Coming into this time last year, one of our clients, he was a big guy, 190 kilos when he started with us. And he was on and off, and his wife would come and say, help my husband. And in the end, I said to her, and I always remember my last message saying, we can't help him until he wants to help himself.
Mm.
But tell him he's always welcome to come back and train, but he needs to go. And it was a bit like you said, he knew he needed to do something.
Mhm.
He knew he needed to get better. But he just didn't know how, and he didn't know what was holding him back. And I remember getting a message from him, and he was in hospital. He died at 32 years old from health complications from being overweight. And I guess for Paul and I, it broke us. What's his son, 12? We had to watch his 12-year-old son
Carry him.
lower him into the grave. And that was hard for us because we knew we had tried all we could, but we'll keep giving the support and the advice, but he didn't want to go get that help. He didn't want, there were things in his past that he didn't want to talk about and deal with.
Mm.
And for a long time it affected us, saying, we should have done more, but until, I guess, you guys address that other stuff, we can only help you so much, and we want to help you because we don't want to go through that again. You've got a young son yourself, and it's something we don't ever want to have to go through with any of our clients again. And I guess for me, it's you guys knowing that you have your son there, and although it's hard to deal with some of the past issues, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because if you guys are no longer here, who's he got?
Yeah.
I'm really grateful, I'm really grateful for God, to give me the opportunity. To be honest, we only just connected to church as well after the first lockdown. As you probably see, most of my posts is, at the bottom, I always give thank you to the Lord. I give thank you to the God, that give the opportunity, to be able to help. And I'm hoping that today is one of those days that will give you guys the opportunity to really have to look down into the bigger issues rather than looking at just the weight loss. You get what I mean? Yeah. There's a bigger issues that we have. And as I said to you guys, you come here and work out 3 times a day. Have your food, but it's overcoming those things that makes you feel better to eat. Enjoying your food, and have a good time with your family. And those are the things, enjoying your business and stuff, Those are the things that we have to, talk to you about it. Because who else is going to talk to you about it? Should we just sit here and take your money and just forget about it?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that, And it's too many people going through it. Too many. You're not alone. And that's Nicole said. The hardest thing is we can actually see it. We can see it in people. I can see it, clearly because I went through it myself.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to do this weight loss because it will help me, I said, hang on. No, you're not. These are the things that you have to do it, And it's so nice when, yes, we wanted to help everybody else, but you have to look after yourself. You have to look after yourself. You got to put yourself first. Because you cannot look after your son if you're in a mess.
Yeah.
So the best place to start is to, find somebody that you can talk to, psychologists. There's 3 appointments. I think it's 4 appointments if you go see somebody, the doctor, and then talk to them.
I think it's more than that if you're under some. So counties, if you're depends. I think you guys are under counties, aren't you? They get more sessions. I think they get double the amount in Auckland DHP. So, even if it's not free sessions, for me, if I had to pay for him to, it's doing what you have to do to get yourself right and be okay with things. Because yes, losing weight, it's going to help your health long term. But you're always going to have that relapse if you don't address those other things. So it's working on it all together, finding that balance of.
Separating yourself from that person that, whatever that happened to you, separating yourself and have that awareness, and then be able to move yourself forwards with what you actually want to do, rather than constantly go back to that person. Because there's you, this is who you are, this is who you want to be, but then you also have this person that's, whatever that happened, that's also living in you. So it's separating yourself from that person. You might not never put it away, but at least you know, this is not who I am. I'm here.
I don't know. Have you ever talked to your mum and told her that you don't want her?
Yeah.
And she doesn't take it.
It was just that one time. I just she was crying, saying that she didn't feel like she was protecting me when I was at that age. But I just told her just to leave it, not to worry about it, because I'm trying to move on with my life. But I think it was more just to protect her, because she's really dramatic, emotionally dramatic. And so it was just something that I didn't need at the time. Actually, I don't need ever, but.
So no, it might be helpful. So later on, if you see a psychologist and see a counsellor, it might be helpful later on to take your mum on once you feel comfortable, so she can feel how it's affected you, but also so that she can have a chance to, I guess, come to terms with the fact that it wasn't her fault either. So Paul done a few by himself, and then he took me along for some of the issues that it was creating in our marriage, so that he could talk and I could understand why some of the things he was doing, but also for him to hear how it affected me and how we could, you know, both deal with that together. Because I guess your mum's probably sitting up there thinking, I haven't done my job properly as a mum, I've let this happen to her. So although it happened to you and you're hurting from it, your mum's probably hurting as well.
Yeah.
No one wants to know that their child's been through that and feel like they failed, don't they? That they haven't done their job as a. But your main priority is yourself first, and then once you're ready for that step.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
No, thank
Yeah,
you
thank
guys.
you.
Yeah. For today, so taking time out of your guys' busy schedule to catch up with us and yeah. Yeah, I know these things will take time in terms of healing and getting our mind straight. But you don't wanna. Well, yeah. I was just gonna ask if we were gonna. Because I was worried we were gonna get kicked out of the 12 weeks. If we could just still try and give it our best shot the last 6 weeks, or if we've got a plan for how we're gonna go and actually try and stay consistent the next 6 weeks.
Part of the plan, it's part of the plan from this week. You guys gonna have to find somebody to talk to. Yeah.
So we're not going to kick you.
We're not
off,
going to kick
but
you
then
guys off.
We brought you
But-
in for a reason, not to kick you off,
Mm.
because we know something wasn't going right, and that
And that's part of it.
we didn't want to just carry along the rest of the 12 weeks and go get to
Yeah.
the end and go, oh, you guys could have done better. So
Yeah.
we know there's a reason why you're not sticking to plan.
Yeah.
But I guess part of the plan has to be, like Paul said,
Yeah.
adding
We've gotta
that
do
in,
it.
finding that time.
Yeah.
Nobody else gonna do it for you. You know. But once you get in, hey, I'm happy. You know, I'm happy to sit there. If you need some support, I'm happy. You know, because I know how hard it is to do it. But sometimes it's better for you to be there by yourself. Show your emotion. Tell the story. Tell what had happened to you. You know, tell.
Yeah.
You don't need to hide anything from it. You know, because the only person that you hide from it is you. And I tell you, you know, it's the best thing that I ever done. Because if I didn't, I would have, you know, we probably we wouldn't even meet. You know, and as it is, you know, I have a lot. It's still playing up to my head, you know, every now and again. But I'm much better than it was before. You know. I will probably, I do have a book at home. One of those books, it's not mine, it's somebody else, but she gave it to me to read. Do you read?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, books at home.
Um,
Reads a lot.
yeah. Forgive to live. Forgive to live.
Who writes that one?
It's amazing. I will flick it to you. I'll take a photo and flick it to you.
Okay.
Forgive to live.
Where do we start to the counselling? Like, is it just online or is it the doctors?
So Paul done it purely through his doctors because we didn't know.
Okay.
So we booked him an appointment at the doctors and said, look, he's struggling really bad. He's depressed. He's had suicidal thoughts for many years. This is what's happened in his childhood, and he doesn't know how to deal with it. And straight away, they referred him to a psychologist. And
So I
think
told-
he was just really lucky. He
just
talked to
pretty
his
much
doctor about
Told
his
my
past
doctors what, you know, why. I didn't have to go into all the details.
detail.
But, you know, because they will ask you some question, you know, why do you want to see them? Because I say I want to see a psychologist,
Because
I
I
want
think
some
you
help.
need the referral.
So they
get
need to
the-
refer why.
Oh,
They
yeah.
do the referral so that it's
The
under
other good thing is,
ACC or whatever it is,
the good thing is, if it happened here, they actually cover.
ACC
ACC cover.
will pay out
Okay.
Oh, so they do. So if it didn't
I
happen
didn't.
here, he got 4 free sessions just based on whatever the rules are. But I think if it's happened within New Zealand, you get ACC will cover
Yes.
all your appointments for life. If it didn't happen here, did you say it happened in Samoa?
No, it happened
Yeah.
here,
Happened here.
So-
but the
if it
guys have
happened-
moved overseas.
Yeah, so if it happened here, I think ACC cover. As far as I'm aware, they put it through to ACC, so you shouldn't have to pay for any appointments.
Yeah.
But normally start with your doctor.
Okay.
So
And
talk to your
for
doctor.
yourself here, if there's stuff that you're just like, I'm really
Same.
struggling with whatever.
Yeah.
Same as
Obviously, your
Yeah.
journey is different to Lisa's, and it's figuring that out. How am I? Same thing with your doctor.
No, for me, shucks. No, I'm not gonna get deep into mine, but I was just saying, like, I was just thinking into my head when you told that story, like, when you feel lost and or you're trying to find something and you can't find it, but it's been in front of you, shucks, that whole time. That's what I'm gonna use, like, but it's been there the whole time, which is my family, Leighton and Lisa. So, yeah, it was, for me, that was a really heartfelt story for that guy last year, and that'll be the key for me. I'll take out of that, because that's what I don't want. Is my son putting me
Yeah.
to the ground at a young
So
age.
that's your why.
Yeah,
That's your why. Yeah.
yeah,
And it is,
That-
it's hard because he came to me. He said, my wife and my 2 kids got a daughter, 8-year-old daughter as well. Those are my wife. But he was stuck in that place.
Yeah.
He didn't
Yeah.
know how to
You
get
didn't
out.
know how
And
to
as
get out.
much as he loved his son and daughter and his wife, he couldn't sort himself out for them.
What does this say? The honesty. So you can't be honest to your son and your daughter if you're not being honest to yourself.
yeah. Bang
The
on.
honesty.
He wasn't willing to go.
So
and
he
talk
wasn't
and
willing
figure
to
out
be
those
honest and talk
things.
about it, but you say that I wanted to help my son. So that's pretty much a lie because you're not actually
Yeah.
Helping yourself.
because you're not being open out yourself. Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the thing that you have to really figure out and say, my family was, but again, did I make a choice to just pretend that I'm helping my family, but I hold on to the thing. I actually didn't. I realized that, hang on, I need to open myself out. Do be able to help them, because if I don't, then
Yeah.
I always kind of pretend that I'm helping them, but actually not. I'm hurting them.
Exactly.
Much.
So it's been in front of me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So the why is there,
Yeah.
but am I actually honest to myself
Yeah.
to serve that why?
Yeah.
Most people don't. We pretend that it is, but it's not. It's only because of the scare of, and there's so many things. The criticize, the embarrassment, the family,
Yes.
the family name. So all those things. But really, do you want to hide that? Because do you want to hide that and forget about your family,
Yeah.
your son, or do you want to, get about it and really sort it yourself out so you can help your family out? So it's the choice, it's the decision that we have to make.
Yeah.
I make that decision. My family is a big name in our village.
Mm.
I came from playing rugby, play cricket. Everyone knows who I am in our village.
Mm.
And as soon as I went on to the social media and spread it all out, I knew that was coming. People won't like me,
happy because they hold the high chief title in the village and he shouldn't be
Yeah.
speaking out.
Yeah. It's embarrassing
And
to
he
them.
was like, I don't
Yeah.
care, I'm healing myself.
Yeah.
I don't
And those are the
care
things
what
that
you
came
guys
up
think.
onto my decision. And I said, should I keep it quiet? And because I'm, my uncle is holding the title, if anything happened to him, it's come down to me and all those sort of things. And I was thinking, I've got to look at my daughter.
I will raise it some more me.
Do you get what I mean?
Just forget everything and it's alright.
It's all right.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's not. Yeah.
It's not.
It's not.
Mm.
That's why
So
I keep coming back to this cycle for me.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we have what is my quote that I had? We really have to rewrite what it means to be a man.
Yes. I believe that. I reckon that's true.
Yeah. We really have to rewrite what it means to be a man.
Yeah. Because it's
We think.
too. I've got to, the boys somewhere. And Mike and all them, it's all proud and
Yeah.
it's all right. She'll be all right. Attitude, but yeah, everyone's got their issues. They
But it's
need.
not.
Yeah.
But it's not. Yeah. So, and I'm hoping that doing the program that I'm doing, I'm actually facilitating one of the things next week. Talking about what I went through and the safety, self-care, and what their purpose and passion about. And then for me really, once I get things, I will be able to do it here in a group, find a group anyway, to facilitate. Because I believe it's one of the reasons why our family is so broken. It's if we don't sort our shit out, these guys is going to be suffer.
Yes.
Our kids going to be suffer.
Yes.
Yes, they do have their things. We don't get time to be. We don't share our emotions. We think we can hold on to it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But that that's part of it. But the first step that for you guys to be able to do it, if you can do it, this next week find it out. Go see your doctor. Go see them. Ask them. Say talk to them. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be afraid. You doing this for your son.
Yeah.
You gotta have to remind yourself that you're doing it to yourself. You're doing it for yourself first.
Yeah.
To help your son. Yeah?
Yeah.
Does it make sense? That is the first step. The nutrition side of it, you guys you guys know the nutrition side. You guys know, exercise and nutrition. As I said, the workout, you can do 3 times. If you do 2 times, I can guarantee if you sort the issues that you have, do the exercise twice a week, your food, it comes from your emotion. Are you eating because you're sad, you're tired, or you're angry? Why are you eating? And these things that has to come out. Talk to your psychologist about it. Because you guys just give me another, I've been thinking about it, and I said to Nicole, this is my ideal gym. This will be my ideal gym, is to have this and also have psychologists on the side to be able to sort these things out. Yeah, which is I'm going to find that again and see if she can. The hardest, the funny thing is, the government is dishing out all these things into the things, but when I ask, can we get some funds to get some psychologists on site, like people like you guys, hey, I've got a psychologist at the gym this time, if you really want to see, come down. So you don't actually have to go through the whole process of finding that person, because I know that I have the person that I can trust, can come, But it's so much. I say, why don't you go to that place? Why don't you go to that place? There's different places that they actually provide that service. But I would love to have my own. Way. You get what I mean? Yeah. So go back into it. If you haven't watched that interview yesterday, go and watch it. And see. Minor. He was live on TV1 Sunday News TV. Yeah, so it's very important there, and it's so common of what he went through, of what you went through yourself. It's amazing, and that it will give you, wow, I can actually do this. Believe in yourself that you can actually do it. You can change it. I don't know if you guys remember the first conversation that we had sitting down there.
Yeah.
We went through that, and I knew that you guys went away with the light. Shit. Because you guys keep looking at each other, and I know that there's something that we need to sort out here. But it's so easy to slip off and say, no, we need to exercise and lose weight, because we know that this is. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But now is the time.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Did anyone ever talk to you about these things before?
No.
Nah, it was just a program.
Just a program.
program and all
Thank you
that
for
other
the
stuff.
money.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing is that you guys done that.
Mm.
You've done the program, you've done a nutrition, you lose weight, you're happy for a little while, and then go
Yeah.
back into the square
Yeah.
one. That's a good thing that you've done it. You know
Yeah.
it works, but it's not a long term.
Yeah.
So now the long term is to do that other side. It's the journey.
Mm.
Let's work on that side and see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I believe myself that it did happen to me.
Yeah.
Because
It makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it
It'll
just,
stop the cycle of going back.
yeah, because like we had the same conversation last week. We're like, you know, how are we gonna get out of it? How are we gonna break it?
Mm.
Because it's the same thing. We'll eat clean for 2-3 days, feel good, and then afterwards we're like, oh, we did, you know, reward ourselves. But
We've done this and we're rewarded. Yeah, that's the problem. That's
Yeah.
why you're rewarding
Yeah.
your food. Like,
yeah, and so
it's finding that replacement for the reward.
Yeah.
Don't reward yourself with food. Reward with
Yeah.
that's what we're going to do, is to break that cycle.
So we stick with the same food plan for the next couple of weeks until we get back in school.
Can you? Oh, before you
Okay,
leave,
so
get used to jump on the scales in there,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
and then I can see where you're at and see if it needs adjusting slightly. I'm thinking it's probably going to stay on the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the next week at least, but we'll just double check before you go.
Because we're stocked up, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. We love the meal plan.
we love the
special
breakfast.
can, you know. The special can, you know. Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's filling. It's filling. That's what I love about it.
Mm. Was it different, much different than what you used to do with Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry had the bodybuilding one for
Yeah.
me. That's why I shredded.
Mm.
Like now I understand why I shredded so much
easy.
in that
Yeah.
first 3 months. Because
Mm.
that first month,
You taking the fat burner?
nah, the
protein
first
powders and stuff?
first 10 weeks I shredded 50 kilos. First 10 weeks it was just exercising little, but sticking to that plan.
He did have the protein powder as part of the plan, but I think the difference is like the 6 small meals we get with you, they're actual meals. Like, but whereas with Jerry's plan, it was breakfast was porridge, and then the first snack was like corn thins and cottage cheese,
yeah.
and then it was the big meal, and then another snack,
Yeah.
and then the big meal
It
again.
would have been really low
Low
carb.
carb.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's probably like what the lean out plan was
14.
towards the end of it.
12.
Yeah, because I was amazed at how much I lost. And he was probably amazed too. Because remember he told us, he's like, never had a client that's lost this much in 10 weeks. I was like, are you sure? In my head I was thinking, are we
So he's
doing the
probably
safe
started
one?
you on the lowest plan. So what we do is we start you on the highest. So there's
Yeah,
a threshold
to
point. If
gradually
you're
go.
over a certain weight, you all got start on that plan, and as you
Yeah,
lose
yeah.
weight, you gradually go down. So
Because in a safer way to lose weight
yeah,
is.
because it
Yeah.
shocks your body really, really badly.
Yeah.
And you just drops.
But it's
so
have a
you're probably on like a
massive
1200
impact
calorie
in
plan.
after.
Yeah, long run.
Long
Yeah,
crazy.
that's why I've come back to where I am now. It's
Yeah.
like, and that's what I want to do is break that cycle.
Yeah.
You know, starting now,
Mm.
today. You know, man, thank you guys, man. Honestly,
That's your homework.
Yeah.
Visit your
That's
doctor
your
or
homework.
ring your doctor or whatever and find out how you
Okay.
can get the help that
Yeah.
you need.
Spot
Do it
me.
individually to
individual.
start with.
Yeah.
Because you both have it's easier, I guess, to talk with
Your own
without
things.
your husband there or
Without.
your wife talking, because they might be part of your problem.
And then later,
Like Paul knows, like he used to take his anger out, and I got to a point where I'm like, I'm carrying all your
Yeah.
baggage as well as holding the family together, and it's having an effect on me. So
Yeah.
you need to get help for that, because and it may be the same for Key. He
Yeah.
may be carrying some of your baggage,
Yeah.
and if you're like Paul say, you bleed on the people that you hurt the most, which he
Mm.
was doing to me. That can have an effect on him, and that
Mm.
may be where his comfort eating comes from. Oh, you know, Lisa's struggling again, and I don't know how to help her, and because for me it was like that. It was constant stress for me. Like I know he's going through a tough time. I don't know how to help him. I'm trying to handle the kids and the business by myself, and it can impact. So it's not like, you know, oh, I'm going by myself so I can talk shit about her. It's
yeah, yeah.
being able to share how you're feeling, and
Yeah,
how it's
airing it
impacting
out,
you,
yeah.
and how you can find ways to cope with when Lisa's feeling down, and how you're going to be able to support her but not drag yourself down with her as well, because that's really, really important.
yeah. We can do a check-in. From now, we can do a check-in every week
Okay.
and see how you guys going.
Sounds good.
You know, it's a lot more deeper stuff than just work out and things. I mean, for me, you know, as I said, you know, it will have an impact into your life, personal life, relationship, and your business, what you do. Because you guys are amazing, man. You know, what you guys do, man, you guys can make that bigger, but you can't go into the fully enjoying that, what you do, until you actually sort out the underlying issues that you have. And then it will have an impact into your health. You know. The weight loss is it's the product, byproduct of doing your mental side. Yeah.
Amazing, yeah.
It's not the work that we should be, you know, focus on. You know, it will always follow what you're going to sort out. Right now with your mental side, I know, you know, I can speak from my experience because I know, and that's the thing that I know. I was never big, but inside, I was big. I was broken. So, you know, I'm glad, you know, God has planned for each one of us.
Yeah.
And we come in this world for a reason. So you guys come in this world for a reason. Your story is gonna impact so many people. We had so 3 people that we connect, and I'm happy to get you on board with it. But we cannot put you on board until you actually sort yourself out. You know, because it will take some time. And you know the funny thing, the lady that we actually connect, their families, you'll see it once it come out, I'll share it on our page. Very famous people, like I mean, well-known family in a community, in a country, in the world. You know.
Yeah, we get to see.
Yeah. And she's probably an amazing person to talk to, so you can connect to her as well. So we'll definitely, you know, I might do some stuff outside, so you guys can actually talk and meet, have a coffee or something, so you know what it likes to be. And then, because that's her goal, is to be able to help as well. So I'll do that once, you know, connect you to it.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
Thank you too.
Good.
Yeah.
Was.
Get our way in.
Yeah, just come down.